Happy Black History Month. Today we're talking about the first African-American woman and first Native American to hold a pilot's license, Bessie Coleman. Bessie was born in Waxahachie, Texas in 1892. In 1915, at 23 years old, Bessie moved in with her two brothers in Chicago and started working as a manicurist in the White Sox barbershop. While working there, she started hearing stories of the pilots returning from World War I, igniting her dreams of flying herself. At the time, though, American flight schools didn't admit women or black people. A man named Robert S. Abbott, founder and publisher of the Chicago Defender newspaper, encouraged her to study abroad. In November of 1920, she traveled to Paris. She enrolled in a 10-month course at France's most famous flight school and completed it in 7. She took the qualifying test for the license from the renowned Fédération Aéronautique Internationale, the only organization at the time whose recognition granted one the right to fly anywhere in the world. She became the first American of any race or gender to be directly awarded these credentials. In September of 1921, she sailed back to America. She traveled across the country performing in air shows as a stunt pilot. At some point, Coleman was criticized by the press for her, quote, opportunistic nature and the, quote, flamboyant style she brought to her exhibition flying. Which, can we take a moment to talk about how absolutely bonkers that is to use as a critique of a stunt flyer? And here comes Queen Bess, as she's known. Not exactly my favorite aviator. Her stunts are simply just too loud, too reckless, and, dare I say, too ghetto. Also, she's black. She was offered a role in a feature film and accepted, but when she found out that the film actually portrayed African Americans in a racist and derogatory way, she walked off the set and said, and I quote, "No Uncle Tom stuff for me." In 1923, Queen Bess crashed while flying out of Santa Monica for an air show. She broke a leg, fractured 3 ribs, and had cuts across her face. While in the hospital bed, she sent a telegram out to her friends that read, quote, "Tell them all that as soon as I can walk, I'm going to fly, and my faith in aviation and the use that it will serve in fulfilling the destiny of my people isn't shaken at all." Queen Bess eventually moved to Florida. She was booked for a parachute jump at the annual flower show in Orlando, but threatened to withdraw when she found out the show was only for white people. The Chamber of Commerce in Orlando folded and black people were allowed to attend the show. On April 28, 1926, a freak accident caused Coleman to fall out of her plane at 3,000 feet. She did not survive the fall. She was 34 years old. Her funeral in Chicago was attended by 10,000 people, had 22 pallbearers, and the ceremonies were led by Ida B. Wells. Lieutenant William J. Powell, in his book Black Wings, wrote, "Because of Bessie Coleman, we have overcome that which was worse than racial barriers. We have overcome the barriers within ourselves and dared to dream." Mae Jemison, who would become the first black woman to go to space in 1992, said this of Bessie Coleman: "It's tempting to draw parallels between me and Miss Coleman, but I point to Bessie Coleman and say, here is a woman, a being, who exemplifies and serves as a model for all humanity, the very definition of strength, dignity, courage, integrity, and beauty." Jemison carried a picture of Bessie Coleman with her when she launched. Bessie Coleman had always said that her greatest ambition was, quote, "to make Uncle Tom's Cabin into a hangar for a flying school." And although she did not live long enough to see her dream of opening a school for black aviators come true, there's no doubt in my mind that the end of time will be greeted with the echoes of her impact and accomplishments. That's it for today. Come back next time to learn about the lawyer who is known as the man who killed Jim Crow.